Hey everybody, it's Doug here, Doug Mystic Guy on Board Game Geek. Just getting ready to do our next turn of Eldritch Horror. And I didn't actually have, I only had one little thing, I wouldn't even call it a correction, but a swivel around. And just for rules clarifications, it says to put a token on a sideways, and when you investigators defeated, which unfortunately we had Lily Chen defeated in the third or second full turn of the game. Anyway, I put a health token on her to represent that she was over, but you're supposed to put whatever ailed her. So in this case, she went insane. So I swapped that out for a sanity token. But that's really it. So now we're just going to get on with getting on. And what we're going to do is we're going to take, now because of the loss of Lily, we're going to take, here, let me back this up again for you. We're going to take the first player marker, and it's going to go back to Leo because he's the next player in line. Let's focus on Mr. Leo here. Yeah, he's doing pretty good. He's got his boat ticket. He's still in Buenos Aires. The gates come up, and he's got all this stuff. The monster that was on the gate moved. That was the mummy. It moved to the pyramids per its activation ability. But he's got some cool items. He has got the awesome Flute of the Outer Gods. He's got his hired muscle, his King James Bible, and his Dark Pact, which we're going to try. I hope we get a way to get rid of that. That'd be nice, because honestly, we had Dark Pacts in the last game we were in. No one ever had to flip them over, so I still don't know what they do. And I think other people have avoided them in a couple of the games we played. But like I said, I did say in the previous video about our marathon game, where 2 or 3 people had Dark Pacts, but no one used them. So we're going to, or no one, they got rid of them before anything happened. Okay, so we're going to go back to him, and we're going to take his actions. Now, there's no monster on there, so he can actually check for assets. He might do that. I don't know. I mean, heck, there's no limit to the amount of stuff you can get. And the only thing he can really do is maybe start moving, but we're there to close that gate. Now, you know what, though? He, with this flute, can kill. We can solve a mystery really quickly, and the doom track's really low, so it might be wise of us to do this. The gate is probably going to be, well, let's see, what's the symbol on the gate? Oh, so, well, yeah, that's going to affect the doom token. We probably need to close that gate. Anyway, so we're probably going to stay there. I'm going to guess we're going to stay there. But just to get to the point, if I can get it to focus, there we go. The flute, as an action, I can spend 2 health and 2 sanity to defeat a monster. Just kill it outright. So Dunwich Horror would be done. But we're going to stay there. So the first thing we're going to do is he's got a influence of 2. So we're just going to roll, and there's like 1, 2, 3 assets he can get there, including the 45. So if he can actually get a couple of good rolls, that would be awesome. So I got the bowl here ready to go, and we're going to roll. Oh, come on, he did! Look, guys, I don't know if he can see it. 5 and 5. He actually succeeded twice, so my plan has come to fruition. He so he's got there's double barrel shotgun he can't do. There's the Holy Cross for 2, which I'll show you that. He's not going to take that. He's already got the King James Bible, which is more helpful to him. That gains +2 will during a combat encounter. That's pretty good, but like I said, he's already got his King James Bible. However, adding to his 3 combat, he can have this, which is the let's get this to focus here. Come on, camera. You're right on it. Focus. There we go. Okay, he can gain +3 during combat encounters, so he's definitely going to do that. So with his 2, we bought that asset, and we're going to put another asset card out. It's a pocket watch. Cannot be delayed unless you choose to. That's a pretty good item. But that's going to be his first action, and for his second action, what shall he do? There's nothing wrong with him. He's in good shape. He can't really do anything to get rid of the Dark Pact. So I think what we're going to do is, since we're going to stay there and take that gate, he's just been able to hang out in Buenos Aires. Never know when you're going to need one. So we're going to take a sorry for the Band-Aid, guys. I poked my finger on a piece of glass. We're going to take a train ticket that's going to end his actions. Now we're going to move on to the new character that's taking the place of Our Lady Lily Chen. I want to back the camera up so I can show you him. Yeah, so I randomly drew Mark Harrigan. Actually, not a bad deal at all. He's pretty tough. He comes with a 38 revolver that gives him +2 in combat, and he's already got a 4, so he's at a 6. Along with our guy Leo, who's got a 6 now too with his 45 automatic. And he's also got kerosene, which allows him to add +5 to the dice roll. His abilities are, he and a monster on his spaces in action can lose 1 health, so he can slowly deteriorate or beat away a monster that way. And he cannot become delayed or gain a detained condition unless he chooses to. He's a soldier, so I guess he's got connects. He's hooked up. But that is him. Now he's got basically high strength and will. He's another fighter, unfortunately. I was hoping to get somebody kind of in the middle maybe, but we didn't. I'm going to move this back so we get a better advantage of the board. And we're going to take his action. Now he started way up here. Do that there in Northern Europe. Okay. So there he is. If we can keep it on him. Yeah, let's do this here. There we go. Okay, that's better. Alright. Anyway, he's there. Now, he doesn't have anything to do, but he is on a, I believe starts on a city space here. So, I think what he's going to do, he's going to take, you know what, yeah. So for his first action, guys, he's going to take a rail ticket. He's going to immediately use the rail, move to here, boom, and continue his rail ticket. So his second action will place him here in Tunguska with the expedition. So I'll get to show you what that's like. That's his action. So let's move on to our guy Jim Culver. Okay, here's Jim. He's up in San Francisco. You know, I think what we're going to do with him, now he's not a fighter, but he's got his shriveling, he's got his flesh ward spell, and maybe he can get rid of this bad beastie there. I don't know, this guy's kind of too tough for him. I'm afraid to go to Tokyo, but when the Omen track moves, we got 2 symbols that are going to move the Doom track down, and we're already down to 9. So I could move him to Tokyo, have him collect a whole bunch of crud. I mean, if he goes there and defeats the monster, he gets to, well, even if he doesn't defeat the monster, just surviving it, he can encounter that space and get the Feed the Mind spell, the protective amulet, and the lucky rabbit's foot that Lily Chen had. But he's got to survive there, and then he can try and close that gate too. So I think, okay, so here's what we're going to do. He does not have a boat ticket. We're going to need a boat ticket. Okay, so for his first action, yeah, he could just stay there and get some stuff. No, we're not going to do that. We need to keep moving and get these gates closed. For his first action, he's collecting a boat ticket. Okay, he's going to use that boat ticket to go here, and then he's going to cross the map. Loosen this up a bit. There we go. Yeah. He's going to cross the map to Tokyo there. Okay, so and that's going to use his boat ticket to get there because it's going to take 2. Now he's there. That's his turn. Now, after he fights the monster, he's going to encounter Lily Chen. Her stark raving madness. He's going to see what happened to his friend and ally. That's going to end the action phase. Okay. So now we're going to go on to the encounter phase, and we're going to start with Leo Anderson down in Buenos Aires. Okay, well, Leo Anderson, he's there in Buenos Aires on this gate. So we're going to draw a gate card for him and see if he can get this bad boy closed. Here is, no wait, is that the gate? Yeah, that's the gate. Okay, here we go, guys. So he drew the Abyss. Let's get this to focus so I can read it to you, and you can read along with me. The night gaunts seem intent on keeping you here in the darkness. You do your best to continue climbing out of the terrible depths without alerting them to your presence. You have to make an observation roll. Well, that's good. He's got an observation of 3. It doesn't say an observation minus anything, so he's going to get his 3 total. That's good. So let's get the dice roller out. Okay, so we need to get a 3. We need to get 1 success on 3 dice. Yeah, oh, man. Okay, we're rolling awesome tonight. 3 6s. I don't know if that's the critical time I needed 3 6s, but that's what we got. So, let's go to the second part of that, which is going to talk about our success. You reach the trap door that leads from the abyss to Sarkomand. The journey has only strengthened your resolve. Improve your will. Now it will require all of your strength to push open the door. Strength -1. If you pass, you're able to escape. Close this gate. If you fail, go back. Gain a injury condition. Okay, well, we don't want to fail. Strength test -1, and we do get to improve our will. So his strength is a 3. He doesn't have anything. Well, it says you may re-roll a die when resolving a strength test. So if he fails, his hired muscle can help him. So he's going to get it's -1. So he's got 3 normally, but he's going to have to take 1 away. So let's roll and see if he succeeds. Yes, he did, with a 6 and a 2. So he succeeded. We're going to close this gate, and he got to improve his will. So this gate to the abyss has been closed. We're going to remove it from the board. Basically, when I remove them from the board, just for the sake of space, I'm just putting them face up underneath the rest of the pile. So when we empty it out, we can shuffle them again. And I'm going to take a token showing his, if I can find them. I'm looking for, there it is, not his will. Where's his will? There it is. Okay. Awesome. Alright. And we're going to give him a +1 will token. That's going to give him a will of 4. That was really a good turn for him. So that ends our encounter phase for Leo Anderson. Now we're going to go to Mark Harrigan, who's going to encounter the expedition. So let's go to that. Okay, here is Mark Harrigan in Tunguska, and we're going to draw the first expedition card off the top of the deck here, and we're going to read it. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Okay, so here he is. He's in Tunguska. Let's pull that out there, let it focus. Okay. As you approach the crater described in Rasputin's notes, toxic fumes pour out of a fissure in the earth. You struggle to stay conscious and continue your descent. Strength test. Okay. Well, that's a good thing. It's this guy, because he too is not weak. He's got a strength of 4. So let's get the dice bowl up, and we'll roll to see what he does there. So here's the dice bowl, and let's roll 4 dice. Yeah. Oh man, guys. King of 6s today. Got 1 6 here, and another 6 over there. So he succeeded. Let's see what happens now, because you know when you complete these, you usually get something really, really good. Okay, let's get that to focus there. It should be right there on the top one. Yep. Okay. You find the remains of a monk's camp. Gain 1 artifact. You then search the crater. Observation -1. If you pass, you find traces of the comet. Gain 1 clue. If you fail, the shattered landscape is difficult to look at, and you lose 1 sanity. Okay, so we have to do a... first off, we are going to get an artifact. So it says do that first. So we're going to get an artifact card. I got the artifact deck over here. We're going to draw a cool artifact. Let's get this in camera. Here's the artifact deck. We got the gate box. No idea what that does. I haven't seen most of the artifacts. We didn't have many in our other games. Sorry guys. Didn't have many in our other games. But this is what this does. Let's check it out. So it's an item, magical. It says investigators on your space roll 1 additional die when resolving tests during otherworld encounters, which means closing gates. If you close a gate during an otherworld encounter, you gain a clue. Man, that is fantastic. Okay, but now we do have to make an observation test. -1. His observation is 2, so he's only going to get to roll 1 die. He's got nothing to re-roll dice with. So this is, again, just to remind you, he has to do that because he's looking for, searching for traces of a comet. If he fails, he's going to lose some sanity because the terrain's all weird and warped. He did fail, so he is going to take a sanity point. Heck, we had to fail something, right? So, removing a sanity from our character Mark Harrigan, but he did gain a very powerful artifact. And now we're going to move the Expedition. Looks like I didn't shuffle these as good as I could have. Anyway, I'll just give them a quick shuffle. We're going to move the Expedition. It's going to, oh man, okay. Well, the Expedition has moved to the pyramids, where we also have a mummy. So we're going to do that and move on. Now we got to go to Jim Culver. He is in the space of Tokyo. Okay, here he is. So the first thing we have to do there, first thing you always have to do is encounter a monster. So the first thing we need to do is make a will roll. Let's get this guy in the camera. A will roll, and it does 2 damage. Now, Jim's willpower is not the best, and he would have had to do the others as an action, but he does have a 3. He can not take this damage if we're lucky. He's also not terribly high on sanity. So, but let's do this. He's got 3 dice. We just need 1 success. Let's get the bowl out. And I don't know if you can see it, but he did not succeed. So that's going to knock him down to, wow, I didn't realize this, 2 sanity. So we know what he's going to be doing on his next turn. But now he's got to fight the beastie. Now he's completely healthy with his 7 wounds. He's got a lot of wounds. Okay, so with that, now he's got to roll his combat with the creature. The creature is a strength -2. So it's kind of tough, you know. I mean, we're going to have a tough one. It does 3 wounds, so hopefully we'll get something going on here. Now he does have his flesh ward, which is going to keep him from taking some damage. So with a strength -2, he's only going to get 1 dice on this strength roll. So let's hope and pray. Okay, I don't know if you saw that, but it's a, there, where is it? No, you know, it was all cockeyed in the corner. Let me roll it again. Yeah, okay, there we go. Got a 6. Okay, so he did actually succeed with his 1 die, which means he would take 2 damage and do 1 damage to the creature. So we're going to take this guy here, and we're going to put a wound on this creature, on the whatever his name is, and we're going to look at his. We're going to look at Jim's flesh ward spell here. So, if I can get it to focus for you, we'll check it out. Okay, there we go. Once per round, when investigator would lose health, you may test your lore. His lore is 3. 3. If you pass, prevent the investigator from losing up to 2 health, then flip this card. So we're going to roll that first. Now he's got a lore of 3, so let's roll. Okay, hit it right there. He actually failed. Gosh, man, I'm having ups and downs with this. So then we're going to flip the card. He did not succeed. So we flip the card and we go to 0. So we're going to look at what happens when you get 0 successes. Something inside your chest shifts painfully. The chosen investigator loses 1 health unless he gains an internal injury condition. Well, he can afford, he would have lost 3 if he failed completely against the monster, so he's going to lose 3 health. It's going to leave him with 4. And it doesn't say, it says then flip this card. So he didn't lose the spell. It's just a touchy spell. If he can take damage from it. But that ends his combat with the monster. Now what he's going to do is he's going to encounter Lily Chen in the space, not as an investigator, but as an encounter. So when you flip the back of the character's cards, and you know, I highly recommend not reading these until you have to, because you're about to get a spoiler here unless you want to take a break from it. But anyway, this is what happens when you encounter Lily Chen when she's gone insane. It says, in case of insanity or other psychosis. Okay, you barely recognize the small woman huddled in an alleyway. Her few belongings scattered next to her are scattered next to her. Gain all of her possessions. It wasn't true, Lily sobs. I have no destiny. I cannot fight the darkness. You reassure her that she has already done her part and that others will finish the task. I get to make a influence check. If you pass, she chants over you, passing her destiny onto you. Retreat to doom by 1. If you fail, Lily eventually falls into a catatonic state. Whether you pass or not, discard the investigator token. Okay, so we got to make hopefully we'll be able to succeed at this. We do have a 3 influence. and we're going to try and help Lily Chen and get her to pass on her legacy to us, which will relieve us, put us back up to 10 on the Doom track from 9. So we're going to roll, and we actually got 2 successes there. So it did work, and Lily passes on her destiny to Jim Culver, and then also Jim gets her items. So what I'm not doing it off camera, but I did move the Doom track up to 10. It was at 9, and he's going to get her lucky rabbit's foot. Let's get to the camera for you. Okay, he is going to get her. Bang! Keep knocking the camera. Okay, her lucky rabbit's foot. Kind of out of focus there. Okay, her amulet of protection. Now the amulet gives her gains +1 will during combat, and more importantly, her feed the mind spell. So Jim's got 3 spells: shriveling, feed the mind, and flesh ward. He's got an ally, a witch doctor, a lucky rabbit's foot, and a protective amulet. So he's doing pretty good. He's got stuff. That actually, then we remove her token from the board. She is now gone. Either way, she slips into a catatonic state and is passed from this life as we know it. He, however, did not encounter the gate. That is going to end it's going to conclude our encounter phase. Now we're going to move on to the Mythos phase. Okay, guys, here's our Mythos card right here. Bam! Let's see what we got. Uh-oh. These rumor ones are without a doubt the worst. So here's the good news. We're going to put out tokens, and we're going to put a marker on space 3, and I'll read what that does. I'll give you the details, but we're going to put out a clue token, which means if I look on our sheet for our players, our icon reference sheet, we're going to put out 2 clues. So, lost knowledge. Here's what I'll read you the flavor text. Your contact in the capital is hesitant to speak about those called the Watches. He says they, I'm sorry, I'm far away from it, so I got to get a little closer. He says they work for a number of different governments, but answer to some other authority. Lost knowledge. Ongoing rumor. When this card enters play, spawn the TikTok Man epic monster on space 21. When it is defeated, solve this rumor. When there are no Eldritch tokens, which we're going to place 3 Eldritch tokens on this card. Discard all clues on the game board. Then each investigator discards all clues. We gotta kill this guy. So the common effect is we discard all Eldritch tokens from this card. So ain't no 2 ways about it. This is a bad card. I don't need this legend so much, so I'm gonna put it over here for now, right there, so it's someplace visible, and I don't forget it when a comment comes up in our Mythos phase. But we still have to put out 2 clues, so I'm going to do that. Grab 2 clues from our clue pile, and also grab 3 Eldritch tokens, and I'll put them on that card. So, and then I got to get the TikTok King, TikTok Dude, epic monster. Anyway, we're going to have a clue in Sydney and a clue on space 4. So, space 4 is right up here in the wilderness, and we're going to put another clue in Sydney that we can go get. Those are always good. And then I got to find the epic monster, which I'll do right now, and be right back. Ooh, here are the TikTok men. Scary. Okay, so here's what they do. There's no no will check against them, but they do have to fight them at strength -2. It says you cannot spend clues and reroll dice during a combat encounter with these guys, and their toughness is equal to investigators +2, so similar to the Dunwich Horror. Now, when I look on the card, it says that the TikTok men are going to be on space 21. So that is on the board somewhere. It's just north of Sydney. It looks like it's in Australia. It's in Perth, I guess, or up north somewhere. So the TikTok men are just north of Sydney, Australia, there. And that is going to actually end our Mythos phase. We are all done. We put out the 2 clue tokens because it was a rumor Mythos card. There are no other effects going on. So that's going to end our turn for this turn. It is sad that Lily has slipped into a catatonic state, but she did pass on her legacy to her fellow warrior against darkness, Jim Oliver. And otherwise, we're doing pretty good. Our new guy, Jim Harrigan, has got a great artifact. So it's 2 artifacts in the game, which is helping us out a lot. And we're going to end it there. So thanks for watching in our battle against Yog Sothoth, and we'll see you next time.